Damn, what's going on, steering holders? So, an annual survey was done by the American Transportation Research Institute, and it shows that these are the top concerns within the trucking industry. Now, they did do a list between carriers and drivers, but we're going to run through this list right quick, and you guys let me know if you agree. Now, we're going to run through this list, and we're going to first talk about the economy. And I want to read this paragraph. It says, rising interest rates, higher diesel and maintenance costs, increasing pay for truck drivers, and rising insurance premiums drove the operating cost of a truck to $2.25 per mile in 2022. And that's the first time it's exceeded that in history. And this is what the facts have shown based on the survey, that if you're running a truck today and you are taking loads that are paying less than $2.25, you're pretty much running at a loss, and you're putting yourself in a position that you have a breakdown or just a major issue come up. You may not be prepared for it because the amount of money you're making won't be able to cover those things. And I understand some people have truck payments and they have things that they got to pay for, so they do take lower loads so they can get to an area that pays more. But just be mindful that you could be taking a loss in the long run with this. And also, if you get a chance, get on the Freight Waves and check out this article, because they do have a downloadable analysis that shows you the breakdown on why they got down to $2.25 per mile. And this is different for everyone across the board, because some people got truck payments and some people just have, a higher cost to operate their equipment. So it just all depends, but it's very good to know how much it costs to run your truck. Now, the next concern on this list is truck parking, and that's just a giveaway. We all know that it's not enough truck parking in the country for the trucks that's running. But what I would say is, in this article, it explains that it takes about an hour, 1 hour for a truck driver to find a parking in average, because you notice when you get to some of these truck stops, you just got to park on the side of the curb and wait till you see somebody leave and try to grab that spot. Or sometimes you go to some of these truck stops and all the spots are paid parking. I don't believe in paying for parking. If I'm already paying for fuel and paying for things inside of your establishment, I shouldn't have to pay for parking as well. I just feel as if that's just aggressive capitalism. But that's me. But this sucks because ever since the ELD has come out, it has made it harder for truck drivers to get places for parking. And another thing it mentions, which we've seen all over, a lot of places people go, truck drivers will park at, maybe the real retail store, or they'll park on the ramp of, on ramp or off ramps of highways or the rest areas. But because we don't have enough time to find parking and we're working off a clock within that 14 hours, it makes it difficult. And sometimes people park in a dangerous position. Sometimes somebody's just extremely tired within that moment and they had to drive within those hours, and just messes up everything, and they park so weird that we've seen accidents occur because the driver is parked poorly within the off or on ramp. And the third is fuel prices. And this is a giveaway itself, because we see fuel prices fluctuate. But I would say be careful, guys, because I can see a war happening and that will cause fuel prices to skyrocket. Now, hopefully that helps out freight rates, but not sure. Now let's talk about the fourth one, which is driver shortages. It sounds so much of like a lie. Okay, it seems like it's a narrative, because when you say we have a truck driver shortage, right? And then we say we have a truck parking issue. There's not enough parking for the amount of trucks on the road. Well, there's more trucks than parking spots, but we don't have enough drivers. So you want to put more drivers on the road, but you don't have enough parking for this situation. And I should see the government really working hard to provide more parking spots. But based on how freight rates are right now, and people aren't able to run profitable, or be able to make a good enough amount of money from trucking right now, I would say that we have way more than enough trucks right now. We have maybe too many trucks. Our Federal Reserve wants people to be fired. They want less drivers on the road. So I don't understand the narrative, but I understand that they can keep funneling a lot of these drivers onto the road. They can probably destroy demand. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And one more thing I would add to the driver shortage, with these major carriers and how they pay people low, and just pretty much the way that they run those schools, it's hard for a driver to really want to remain on the road. And that's why there's a high turnover rate. So there are people who come into the truck industry, but they realize very soon that it's not all that glitter and gold that somebody probably sold to them. It's a lot of hard work, and it takes time for you to build up and get to the level where you're making that real income that trucking provides to you. All right, let's talk about the pesos. Okay, let's talk about driver compensation. So according to the statistics, it says that it takes about 90 cents to pay a driver, pretty much from you paying them per mile or however you're compensating them, but also paying for their benefits, and that's 40% of your total operating costs. Another issue was number 6, which is lawsuit abuse reform. We probably need that for sure. There are people who will try to get in an accident with a truck driver, and there are these big post boards all over the country in different places. Some places more focused, like Florida, but they will pretty much set up a whole game plan to get into accident with trucks so they can get paid, these high amounts from lawsuits. And number 7 is a very funny one. All right, we can all relate to this one: driver distraction. Not only the amount of drivers you see on the road on the phone, not only that, okay, I've seen a driver one time. He was driving, but he was also cooking, like he was cooking like an egg sandwich, just cooking it while he's driving. The amount of things you'll see a driver do. All right, they mentioned right here that you can see a driver reading, eating, reading papers, reading their books, reading their maps, doing so many different things while they're driving, and it's so dangerous. Now, this is what I was speaking about when it comes to these major carriers: driver retention. All right, it's hard to keep a driver on the road because of how much they have to sacrifice, and these major carriers have to start paying up and start being a lot more fair. And it just, I understand there's going to be a change within the industry. We're probably going to have electric or self-driving vehicles that probably do the long haul, and there'll be a lot more local jobs, but it probably still going to delete a lot of jobs within the trucking industry. Now, the ninth one was detention and delay of customer facilities. I know in Washington, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are now forcing those warehouses to allow truck drivers to use the bathroom, because sometimes you go to a warehouse and you'll be there for 5 hours, maybe even 24 hours, and they won't provide a bathroom to you. Different facilities do different things, but some places they just have bathrooms for their employees. For me, it don't really bother me that much because I like to get the bucket and get it going. Get the plastic bag and let it slow. I don't know what what I'm saying? I just make it happen on my own terms. I don't wait for these warehouses to allow me to do what I got to do, my reliefs. You know what I'm saying? And every year these things change on the list. So right now we have these zero emission vehicles at 10, but this can jump up to 3 or 4 in a couple of years. You don't know, because the amount of money that will go into this, based on the statistics, right? They said that having electric chargers at all 313 truck parking spots would cost $35 billion. Just understand, they're going to spend whatever they need to spend to electrify these vehicles. All right, they want to eliminate all emissions, and they want to just have electric or maybe even natural gas, but we don't know yet. And I just wanted to be fair and show you guys they did have a difference between what truck drivers cared about and what motor carriers care about. So you can see right there at the top, for truck drivers, it was driver compensation. They want to get paid. All right, and at the top for motor carriers, it was the economy. Now, because we have different goals here. A truck driver have a different goal from the motor carrier if they're not an owner operator. So for a truck driver over here, the second thing was truck parking, because we can't find parking at the end of the day. And over here, they probably, it was driver shortage, probably because they can't find good drivers. There's a lot of reasons to that as well, because some things could be the drug test. There's been an issue there. There's been drivers being lost through those issues. The next thing was for truck drivers were fuel prices. I was assuming the reason why it was for truck drivers with fuel prices, because some of them probably get some form of a commission, or after expenses they get some kind of cut from that. So I can understand how fuel prices could be an issue over there. But over here, it was a lawsuit abuse reform, because a lot of these carriers probably face a lot of setups like that. But you guys go through the list, see if you agree or don't agree, and let me know what you think in the comment section. It was a good article. Go check it out. It's on FreightWaves. Peace.